Take a look behind the scenes of the Eurovision Song Contest with us.
On the Eurovision stage, we see the singer and maybe a band.
Articles and websites often mention the songwriters and sometimes the producers as well, but there is another hidden level behind that, the record labels.
Each song needs a record label.
The record label is the company that distributes and promotes the song, and often they are also involved in making and recording it. More than 70% of the global music market are controlled by just 3 major labels: Universal, Warner and Sony.
Everything else is considered independent, called indie label.
And now let's look at the Eurovision Song Contest 2026 and the record labels there, starting with the major labels, who are very underrepresented.
Sony has no song in this year's contest at all, although usually they used to have 1 to 5 songs.
Warner works with 4 artists of this year, from France, Italy, Norway and Sweden. This is around their normal value after jumping up shortly to 13 acts in 2025. It means a drop from 35% in 25 back down to 11%.
Universal is the largest major label in Eurovision this year, but with only 6 songs, which is 17% of all songs.
They used to be around 30%, which is a good representation of their overall global market share of over 30%. In 2025, they already suddenly fell down to 16%. But while last year Warner filled this gap with their artist, this year the big piece of the cake that Universal does not take falls to indie labels.
But before we continue with them, there's one act on the borderline between Universal and the Indies, which is Mother Nature from Luxembourg.
Their actual record label is an indie label, but they work with Universal for the distribution. So you can decide for yourself where you want to count this in. Does Universal actually have 7 songs, so 20% of the songs?
Or is Mother Nature one more song in the biggest group, the indie labels? In any case, the indie labels represent over 40% of all songs in Eurovision 26 with 14 or 15 songs.
Or even more, because we have 2 more categories, which you could also add to the indie number. A Eurovision specialty where the broadcaster acts as a record label, which is the case with 4 acts this year, and it's the usual candidates for this construction.
Armenia, Israel, Montenegro and Serbia.
These 4 broadcasters regularly act as the record label for their contestant. And the last category are the artists that organize everything themselves and publish their art themselves as a self-release.
And in this year, these 6 acts are self-released.
Usually, the self-release number was below 3, so they have doubled their effort up to 6 artists this year. That is just as many songs as Universal sends. Now, if you add indie label, broadcaster and self-release together, you get a whopping 25 songs, or 71%, which are indie label products. Quite the opposite as in the rest of the world music market, where the major labels control over 70% of the business.
We think this is awesome.
It can be very hard for indie labels and especially self-released artists to reach large audiences, and the Eurovision stage is the biggest music stage in the world. But the question stays:
will this trend continue?
Can the Eurovision truly become a place where indie artists can get exposure to a worldwide audience without the support of a major label?
We would like that a lot, but what do you think?
Leave us a comment and of course like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our future Eurovision content.
Bye!
Goodbye!